Go ahead and your pockets right here. Anything else in your pocket? That's it. Straightforward.
Marina?
Yeah.
Got you. Go ahead and stand on line. Thank you. Got you down, ma'am. We are in the Virginia Beach Correctional Center, Sallyport. This is where inmates turn themselves in for the Weekender program. Remember, no jewelry, earrings, rings, all that. Most people, when they're sentenced to jail, you stay in jail and you're here for the remaining of your sentence. So if you have a week, you're a week. 3 months, you're staying 3 months. For the Weekender program, they do their sentencing just the weekends. Cargo pants. Maybe not wear these next weekend. We're not going to have murderers on the program. We're not going to have people who have done a violent crime, but like DWIs, DUIs, probation violations, those are the most popular ones. Lift this leg for me.
What is the point of this program?
It's to help the offenders to continue their life outside of their sentencing. If they have medical issues, job, kids, families, all that other stuff, coming into jail is huge. And this program is a privilege and it can be taken away from them. They have rules and regulations just like the inmates in the jail that stay with us, and they have to abide by them. If they do not abide by them, they go straight time. We're missing 2. They know they're supposed to turn themselves in. And if we don't get a phone call or a court order by Monday morning, then they'll get a warrant after the rest. So rules are very clear. Close the outgoing Sallyport doors.
There are over 3,000 jails in the U.S., detaining over 500,000. Each one a world of its own. Running a jail is tough. Surviving inside is tougher.
Let's go, let's go!
For 120 hours, 5 days, our cameras are inside, capturing the officers, inmates, and moments that define life behind bars.
I'll be home soon, right?
My name is Rocky Holcomb. I'm sheriff of the city of Virginia Beach, the largest city in the Commonwealth. We have over 460,000 residents, and we swell to about 14.5 million visitors every year to our oceanfront. We host the largest boardwalk. We think it's the best boardwalk on the East Coast, but we have about 3 miles of boardwalk that's just beautiful here in Virginia Beach.
The city's high tourism numbers and active beach nightlife create a spike in alcohol and drug-related crimes, with over 6,000 DUIs and public intoxications and over 1,000 drug arrests each year.
Shane, sit up, go. There you go.
Oh. Can I get you to slide over here for me a little bit so you're not sitting in your vomit? Or do you want me to put this right here?
We operate 3 buildings here. Under roof, we have 1,100 prisoners right now. As you go through our 3 buildings, you can see the philosophy of corrections changing. In Building A, which is our oldest building, it's more lockdown cells.
This is the old part. This is the old side.
And then Building B, we're getting away from the individual cells, and now we're getting more into a dormitory room. This dormitory has 12 beds in it, tops and bottoms, and sometimes we'll sprinkle some folks on the floor if we have to. But you put 12 people in this room, there's 1 table, there's 1 toilet, there's 1 shower. You got to learn to get along. And now in our newest jail, we're into a big whole area that houses 52 people. The large number of folks that come here just want to do their time and go home. But there are some folks that come here for nefarious behavior and want to continue that behavior.
Did you used to work a line here?
Yeah, oh yeah, yep. I started as a deputy recruit in 1991 here at the Virginia Beach Sheriff's Office. And I've been here ever since then, advanced through the ranks, and I'm the first person to become sheriff that actually started at the sheriff's office. There's no deputy here that's doing a job that I haven't done. So that goes a long way. To tell you how bad it is, I'm starting to see the grandchildren of folks that were here locked up in 1991 when I started. And it is frustrating, it's sad. It's almost like they get caught in a cycle and it's hard to get out of that cycle. And we want to make sure that we can help break it the best way we can.
Yeah, I've been here 3 years. They treated me like bro. Swear to God, bro.
We understand that over 85% of these offenders are coming back to our community. And we need to make sure that we can prepare them for a soft landing when they come back to our community and they'll come back here. Hey, Sheriff. How you doing?
Over the last year, Sheriff Holcomb has championed multiple programs helping offenders transition back into society, from positive reentry and modified incarceration to educational.
One of the things that I do here is I push our programs very hard. If you come to my correctional center and you don't have a GED, then you better give me a good reason why you're not getting one. Because we offer GED classes year-round, and so we make sure that we get folks the education, the training they need so they can get back out in the community.
Virginia Beach Correctional Center houses pretrial detainees, misdemeanor inmates serving up to 1 year, and more serious offenders for violent crimes and felonies awaiting transfer to state prisons.
Classification is extremely important because we try to keep people that don't fit together away from each other. Certain gang members, certain subsets, they may have beef on the streets, co-defendants that shouldn't be housed together. So when they come in through the intake process, we do initial screening. We ask them about 20 questions, and then we go through their criminal history, their mental health, medical, a lot of different things, factors go into that. And then from the intake, we actually assign them a spot. And then throughout the time that they're here, they may be moved around. You have to do a lot of background research before you move somebody into another housing unit, because you don't want to move them into a worse situation. And of course, you're not going to know every circumstance. So if we get it wrong, things happen, but we try to minimize that the best we can. Minimize conflict, that's our overall goal.
There, Sheldon. Their first weekend.
One of the missing weekenders finally arrives at the Sallyport gate. Deputies Ashley Sanchez and Doris Dix go to receive her.
Just go ahead, put your stuff on that table, and then hands up on the wall.
Pat down. I got a DUI. I got the minimum legal sentence in Virginia, which is 10 days jail time.
Go ahead and lift this like that.
In Virginia, 10 days is the minimum sentence for a second DUI within the last 5 to 10 years.
Take one step back.
This is Sarah's first night in jail.
We're gonna go through here. We're gonna go to the left and get your picture.
I would rather do a few days at a time instead of being in straight. I don't know. I've never been to jail before, so.
Go ahead and step to your left. Back up against that wall on those footprints for us.
What do you do on the outside?
I do social media management for my job.
All right, brush your hair behind your shoulders for me, please. Look right here between this camera. Turn just your head to the right. Look at the numbers on that door.
It's a new experience for me. I'm a little sad and scared, honestly.
She's good.
All right. Ready? All right, we're gonna go ahead and get your part of medical.
They don't tell you anything to expect. You have to figure it out by asking around, I guess. Don't know if people are going to be nice in here or how uncomfortable the situation is going to be being trapped somewhere that's not my home.
I'm not doing God. I don't belong here.
The dentist will get you dressed out when they're ready. Okay. You're welcome.
Next, she'll be interviewed by our classification. They'll determine her housing.
10-7.
And then we'll just strip her in, so do a strip search and get her dressed in a jumpsuit. And then bring her upstairs once we have her housing. We do see a lot of first timers. Some of them are nervous, some of them just kind of accept it, but generally they are nervous. She'll still be experiencing everything as normal as if she wasn't a weekender, so she'll still be housed with other inmates that potentially aren't weekenders. Yeah, so she's right in the mix with everybody.
Sarah will spend the next 48 hours with 30 female inmates in general population. Sergeant Joseph McBride leads his team of deputies in their daily morning cell inspections and head count.
Cell inspection. Every day at 8 o'clock we do a physical head count. Everything good? Make sure everybody's who they are, where they're supposed to be, where they're assigned.
I've never seen this kind of a digital head count before. Explain your system here.
It's called a RFID scanner. Basically, when they come in intake, they're assigned an ID card. When they're assigned to a block or a cell, you scan the ID and it shows you where they're supposed to be. All right, gentlemen, appreciate everybody. So this floor we have program blocks. There's GD blocks, and then most of your A-wing guys, your max guys, your heavy crime. A lot of these guys just waiting to go up the road. They're already sentenced, so they're waiting to go do their DOC time.
While 69% of the jail's detainees are pre-trial, the remaining 31% have already been sentenced.
All right, gentlemen, cell inspection, anything off the top of your heads, please.
Some will serve their time here, while others are awaiting transfer to prison.
When you walk into those cells, I mean, you guys are kind of surrounded by all these guys. Like, is that safe? Like, tell me about how you move through.
If the door's open, there's always someone at the door. That way there's no breach. And, you know, whoever's at the door, they're our eyes. So, but, you know, you got to know your surroundings, keep your head on a swivel, and you got to trust your training. All right, gentlemen, once Miss Smith gets through, y'all good for the day. Nice, easy day, right? So. No? Hey. Hey. You do you, we do us, right? All right. I've been here 9 years, and we see them some days more than we see our family. So, I mean, it's not that we're being friendly. It's just they're human beings. I appreciate you, gentlemen. I was always raised. I show respect, and respect's given. So, you know, I treat everybody with the same respect as they give me. So.
How are you guys able to play ping pong here? Is this dorm different?
Yeah, this is the trustee pod. You gotta be in population for 30 days before you'll look at your application, and then they'll bring you either the trustee pod or the workforce pod.
Qualified inmates can apply for the trustee program, where they are assigned a job and work inside the jail for special privileges.
At population, you barely get fed over there. Being over here, we get plenty of food. The phones stay on all night, all day. It's just, I mean, overall better. It's a little more freedom for us being in a jail.
What's the trade-off? What do you have to do for those privileges?
We gotta work. Got the floor crew, floor cleaners, laundry crew, kitchen crew.
One such trustee, Patrick Lynch, works as a tray stacker in the Virginia Beach Correctional Center's kitchen, a job only non-violent inmates are able to apply for.
We get here about 4:30 in the morning and probably get out of here around 2. If everyone's working together, we got a pretty good crew here, so it's like try to bang it out and get out of here quick.
I tell people I run the largest restaurant in the city of Virginia Beach. I feed over 3,500 meals a day. And so as we're serving that many meals, let's allow these trustees to get some training and some certification on this so that when they get out, they can get a job in the food service industry or the hospitality industry, something like that. So we work hard to make sure they get a certificate when they leave saying, hey, I'm certified in this, this, and this.
Some of the privileges trustees are given include receiving 10 coffee servings and 1 e-cigarette a week. They also have the possibility of earning good time, time shaved off their sentences.
All right, I'm gonna grab this next court. See you guys.
I'm here on a violation. I was in a toxic relationship with my girlfriend at the time, so I moved from that address, and it's a simple thing, violates my probation.
Is this your first time in Virginia Beach?
No, 40 years old, I've probably been in this jail about 7 or 8 times.
Thank you, sir.
On my record, you would see a couple possession charges early on in the beginning, and then you'd see about 15 grand larcenies. My life spiraled out of control into addiction. I was making $30 an hour working for my family's HVAC company, and pretty soon it got to the point where your family doesn't want you around. You're stealing from your friends. You're not who you were. But if I had my record sitting in front, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy anymore.
Too good, man. Too good.
Are you delivering it?
No, I'm not going to deliver it. We actually have 2 trustees that come down for each floor. They're going to grab the carts, take them to the individual pods, and pass them out to general population. Bro. See, everybody in population normally gets 1 burger, 1 slice of cheese. You're not getting commissary. People aren't sending you food in here. You're going to lose some pounds in here. But since I'm a trustee, I get to get fat boy.
So you basically get as much as you want?
As much as I want until we run out. And extra cheese sauce, man. Can't do that upstairs. We good hustle there. We busted ass. We knocked that out pretty quick.
Inmate Lynch will go to court in 3 days. He faces up to 6 years in prison for violating his probation.
Don't come to Virginia Beach Jail. Try not to go to any. Do not come here. Try to do better. We're trying to do better. The statistic-wise of you coming back here is 86% of people will be bad. Yes, it's a revolving door. Come on vacation, leave on probation, come back for a violation.
How was your first night?
Well, they just throw you in there and they don't tell you. Like, they don't show you around, they don't say this is your bathroom, they don't say, like, nothing. It was just the girls kind of showing you around what to do and set your bed up and how to tie your sheets and whatever they've been doing for however long. Lights out at 11, but then 3 a.m. they're waking you up for breakfast, so not really very much sleep, as you can imagine, already being in jail, so.
Was it what you expected?
No. No, it wasn't what I expected. I guess I imagine it being a little bit more spacious.
Like individual cells?
No, just more space between. There's no eating space. The food gets brought to the pod, and there's only 2 tables that can sit 6 people, and there's 32 people in there. You don't have a cafeteria, so you have to find a spot or take it to your bed, which isn't an ideal eating situation inside your living situation.
You don't have much more on this. Where's your headspace?
I have about another day and a half before I get out. But this is only my first weekend. I'll have 3 or 4 more after this. They did spray? I'm ready to go.
Can you imagine what it would be like for weeks and days on end?
No, it doesn't feel good being in here knowing I'm getting out tomorrow and a lot of people aren't.
Of the 1,100 detainees in Virginia Beach, around 150 of them are female, facing a wide range of charges from simple misdemeanors to more serious felonies awaiting transfer to prison.
I've been coming to this jail for 15 years and it's the same thing. It's like they lock you in a cage. The vents have black mold and you sit right on a top bunk and breathe it in every night. How are you gonna say that it's healthy for us to be in here? They give the smallest block that has 6 beds in it to 30 women, and then they get mad when we're too loud. They get mad if we fight, and then if we do something wrong, they cut off your TV, their phones, tablets. So then we're just sitting there staring at each other, arguing it again over something. But if you gave us some more options, hey, what's wrong with going out to the rec yard for 15 minutes a day?
You get to go nowhere. Nowhere, not church, the library, nowhere. It's crazy.
The library cart has not been back to see us in 2 months. So the books are falling apart, missing pages.
How are you guys?
What have we done? I mean, nothing. We sat around trying to read the same 3 pages in this book, but you can't really read when there's so much chatter going on, honestly.
Don't come back.
Everybody step in!
They're locking us down, man. We're on lockdown right now.
Inmates in the trustee pod are locked down for razor pass.
Okay, downstairs we got 275.
Only inmates on the list are given a razor, which is collected immediately after being used.
It was just you, right?
Thank you.
Yep. Passing out the razors. They have to be locked down just because of the potential for danger when they have razors. I mean, the razors can be used as a weapon potentially. You're welcome. They could also potentially use it against us. God willing that doesn't happen. But that is the reason why they have to remain locked down while they have their razors. And once they're done, we'll collect them, we'll inspect them to make sure that all the pieces are there, and then they can be let back out. Razors. A couple more and we're done.
Like these little cheap razors, I mean, I've seen people grab them and slice someone across the face. They call it $1.20. And basically if someone's stealing from them or they have a problem with them on the street, it could be gang related, they'll walk up to the person and slice them when they least expect it. And then they have a nice 120 stitches scar on their face. And that's why they call it that. Being in a setting like this, even though we're trustees, we're still criminals, right?
Yeah, I'm just making sure the blade is still there and still intact.
With all razors accounted for and inspected, the deputies are able to unlock the cell doors and let the trustees back out into the day room.
This is our life. Woo!
Shelton! Back up. Let's go.
Sarah has completed the first weekend of her court-ordered 10 days in jail. She is being released for the week.
I asked for it first. She could have done that. I just want to see how small. Too small.
When you leave, they want all your stuff that you don't need anymore. So they, and they ask you that from the beginning. They're like, "Can I get this when you leave? Can I get that when you leave?"
You got to get Matt.
Bring him in.
I'll get your mom.
They came in there and had new sheets, so they wanted to trade out the sheets, and they wanted my socks. They wanted my undershirt.
All right, come on.
So they stripped me.
I'll get your mom. Got it? Bye.
You have your ID card? Your ID card.
Everyone was really nice. I think that was probably the most surprising part.
Out to the left.
I think the hardest part of it for me was like the cleanliness and personal space. Not so much the food. The food was really bad, but I feel like I could get by a couple days not eating as much. But I definitely think you could kind of relate it to like a little bit of a scared straight situation.
Place your mat right here on this stack to your left.
I mean, I don't think anybody wants to do jail time, but just really getting a taste of it, I cannot imagine it being longer than it was.
All right, cut this way. All right.
very strange for me being someone that's only here for a couple days versus seeing the people that are going to be in here for a long time.
Go around the corner and get dressed.
My main thing right now is getting my things back, getting to my cell phone, and getting home and showering before I can even process anything else.
Right behind you. Okay, ma'am.
Sarah will return to jail again in 5 days for her weekend sentence. If she fails to check in, a warrant will be issued for her arrest.
So this is how we have it set up.
Okay.
There's a mix of boxes and mail out.
With a large amount of drug arrests in Virginia Beach, keeping narcotics and other contraband out of the jail is a constant struggle.
We have 3 canines that are active, and one of them is trained to detect fentanyl.
Dog.
And so what can happen is there can be some drugs that come in the mail, like on the sticker, on the stamp. And so we're always checking that to make sure it doesn't get in the facility.
Canine Apollo, he screens the mail and packages for narcotics. We've seen all kinds. Anything they think they can get in, they will mail in.
And here's the deal. We have to be right every single time. The bad guys only have to be right once. Because if we allow a piece of contraband into the facility, it could be deadly.
Can you put a training aid down?
After we've run the mail and we know it's clear, we'll plant a training aid just for fun to keep him engaged. And then once he locates it, ultimately he'll sit and I'll pay him his little reward and then we play. Good boy, good boy, good boy, okay. Apollo very much loves the job. He gets very excited to come to work. Come on.
All right, let's roll.
All right, gentlemen, shake down.
Sergeant Hauk is leading his team of deputies in a random shakedown of C Unit.
We do shakedowns randomly, daily, weekly. We're always looking to do a shakedown because we have to get contraband out of the facility as quickly as they think they can get it in here. It's a cat and mouse game.
Activate.
Virginia Beach Correctional Center is one of just a few jails across the country to deploy body-worn cameras on its deputies, documenting every interaction to protect staff, inmates, and the integrity of the jail.
ID's on the mat. ID's on the mat, yes, sir.
Inmates are systematically brought out of their cells and patted down thoroughly for contraband.
Come on, man, put the toothbrush down. It's not time to be brushing your teeth. Let's go. More than enough time to get ready.
After each inmate is cleared, they're moved into the rec yard, where the entire population will wait, while officers begin searching the cells and common areas.
We're looking for any contraband that they may have. Weapons, drugs, tattoo kits. They like to mess with the e-cigs and use the batteries where they'll heat up water to make ramen. We'll find shanks. They'll take something as simple as a pair of eyeglasses. They'll sharpen the ends. They become very creative and try to make things that they want or they need.
We have tablets in here and they use the headphones and they coiled it together and wrapped it and created that. They make all sorts of interesting things of this nature.
What did you guys find here?
Scrabble pieces. We don't have the board. It's just little pieces of soap they've carved out and let dry roll good and then write it with an inmate pen. They just keep marking over it until it digs in and creates the ink.
And so why would that be something that has to be taken away?
While they've turned this into a game, you put this in the bottom of the sock and you swing it around. It could also be used as a weapon.
Salt and pepper.
Sergeant Hauk.
They found something.
What'd you find?
I don't know, but it's powder.
Where did you find it, Miss Calborn?
346 upper tier. It was in between his bed.
Sergeant, what is that?
It is a bag of white powdery substance. It could be anything from crushed soap to narcotics. But we're going to have to figure out what exactly this is.
All I did really was just flip his bunk over, and it was underneath some tissue paper, and they're just trying to hide it for me to overlook it, just think it's just tissue instead of me shaking it out. But I shook it out and it fell out.
If it's narcotics, that's a lot.
Yes, it is.
Well, what we'll most likely do from here on is we got to investigate it. So we got to follow proper procedures, Mirandize them, interview them, and then we'll refer to our criminal intelligence unit who handles any criminal investigations. But we'll most likely have to send it out for testing and confirm whether or not it is a drug of some sort. It could take a month or so. It just depends on how busy the lab is.
All right, let's get all the trash out. All right.
In the direct observation pod, Deputy Wesley Atkins performs round-the-clock safety checks on high-needs inmates.
So my job is to keep every inmate safe. It doesn't matter if they're a regular person, black, white, Hispanic. In this pod, you just make sure that they're not trying to commit suicide or hurt themselves. You have guys that detox from alcohol, some drugs maybe, and then you have guys that's actively trying to harm themselves. The guys like a little bit more like need direct supervision. So right now in the lower tier we got some acutes, some non-acutes.
So what's an acute?
Person that's actively trying to commit suicide, self-harming. If you're on acute, you're direct ops. So we stand and we watch you the whole time we're here. Direct one-to-one watch. We have an individual in the restraint chair. He's on suicide watch, he's acute, but he's actively trying to hurt himself. And he's been bleeding, so we have to, clean the cell and do stuff like that. If you're non-acute, it needs to be 15-minute checks. So basically 4 checks an hour if they're non-acute. Working in here, it's not for everybody, but it's a part of deputy duties. You alright?
No, I'm starving, man.
Alright, he's coming soon. Some people call it the pit of misery, so some people say, hey, those are dungeons, so they'd rather not work here. If you see yourself on the ops report working here, you know you got a night ahead of you because anything can happen here. Anything.
What got you into this?
Me, I've just wanted to be that guy where, I like my job and I like people, and I don't want people to be scared of law enforcement. I want people to be happy to see in law enforcement. Anything happens, able to give us information to help solve crimes or whatever the case may be.
How do you deal with that kind of situation?
After a while, it becomes second nature in here. You hear it, and it's not as loud as when you first start. That's one thing I could say. It's time for a check.
Let's take a beat. We gotta find one.
That's court day. You got to go down wearing these little plastic shoes. So I guess it's not a security risk. So no one takes off running on them. But you're normally chained up. So
how you feeling?
Oh God, I'm scared to death.
It's sentencing day for inmate Lynch. He will be taken with a group of other inmates through an underground tunnel to the Virginia Beach courthouse, where he will see a judge about his case.
I'm gonna have to hope to God that the judge will listen to what I have to say and versus what he's reading about my past history on that paper. I'm gonna ask him for mercy today, not justice.
Wish me luck.
I guarantee you I'm not the guy that I was when I was committing those crimes. I've got a whole life out there. I've got a great job waiting for me. I'm supposed to get married. I've got a lot of stuff that I was about to do, but that past criminal lifestyle, man, it follows you. Follows you for the rest of your life. Best case scenario, they sentence me to the Community Alternative Corrections Program, CCAP. Worst case scenario, I get 6 years today.
What's that, mail?
The inmates in the trustee pod are on edge as they wait for their friends and cellmates to return from court.
When you got a good cooked meal, it makes you feel a little bit more like you ain't in jail. You know? We're a little bit more blessed out of the pot since we've got a microwave. When you get a bunch of guys and you cook together, it just kind of gives it like a family atmosphere, you know? Instead of being alone. Thank you. You're welcome. All right, now, let me show you how we make a grilled cheese with a microwave. 2 slices of bread.
Mayonnaise.
I need a mayonnaise, Ray. So we don't have butter, right? The kitchen does, but I don't work in the kitchen. So we put mayonnaise on the outside of the bread. It's kind of like butter. All right, so this is just a regular chip bag. Who got a brown bag? This one's gonna blow your mind. Now you wrap it up real tight. You know you can't put metal in the microwave now. You gotta put it in this. When you put it in the microwave, it don't blow the microwave up. You're here. Boom! Put that on 1 minute and 15 seconds. Upon my travels, the prisons in Virginia, these guys that have been down for life and been doing a lot of time, they just find ways to, you know, get through their time. I mean, guys are really great at it. I ran into a lot of smart people, a lot of things that made me go, what the hell? But, all right, so here you go. Here's your grilled cheese.
See that bread toasted.
Grilled cheese, BBCC, grilled cheese.
Yes, sir.
Take a bite, it's hot.
Oh. Good.
Yeah, right.
It's called survival of the fittest, man. That's how you survive in here, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's time to call the family and let them know.
After sitting in the courthouse bullpen for 6 hours, inmate Lynch finally returns to the trustee pod.
Continue to win.
I got my friends. I got all my buddies. What did they do to you? All right.
Everybody got continue. Continuance is for everybody.
A continuance is a court-ordered postponement of legal proceedings, often due to backlogs and scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, they continue.
Inmate Lynch calls his girlfriend, who was able to meet with his attorney in person today at the courthouse.
Okay, so they're gonna give me a CCAP.
Community Corrections Alternative Program, or CCAP, is a structured supervision program for qualified offenders, offering job training, counseling, and educational opportunities.
Oh my God, you're awesome! Thank God, because I was pissed. Okay. And you can get married that way. That's awesome. That is great news, babe. Thanks.
But I'm feeling
You're funny.
and I'm feeling lucky.
Thank you for supporting me today. Thank you for being there. I love you. I can't wait for this to be over. I just called my girlfriend who was in here in the courtroom, and she talked to my attorney before she left. So basically, I got 110% good news. So that's when everything changed over there. I just got all happy and I'm like, yes, I am getting C-caps. Talk to my lawyer. Yes, they're giving me the program and I'm getting time served. I'm happy. That now it's over.
Inmate Lynch will go back to court in 2 weeks, where he will officially receive the Community Corrections Alternative Program. He will be transferred to a participating Virginia Department of Corrections facility, where he will spend the next 5 to 12 months completing the program before he is released.
Angie got my marriage paperwork and so I'm getting jailhouse married. Not to one of y'all though. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. There's a lot of good guys in here, man. And we're people just like everybody else. Me, I'm trying to take a lesson from all my circumstances because I'm old now. I can't keep doing it. But I've got great optimism and great hope for my future. So I'm not coming back here.
All right. You're always welcome back at the beach.